हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा गुरुजी हरे कृष्णा डियर डिवोटीज स्टार्ट मंगलाचरण वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा. Okay, we'll continue with our prayer for this week, absorbing ourselves in the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, glorifying Sri Jagannath as we pull the chariot of Jagannath into our hearts. Posted the link in the chat. Let me also share the screen. Anybody would like to sing? Okay, let's see. Is the screen share visible?
No, Prabhuji.
Not yet. For some reason it is showing me. It's trying to share. Maybe hopefully it should come up. But I'll start reciting in the meanwhile. Shri Jagannatashtakam by Shri Adi Shankaracharya. कदाचित् कालिन्दी तटविपिनसङ्गीतकरवो मुदाभीरी नारी वदनकमलास्वादमधुपः रमाशम्भुब्रह्मामरपतिगणेशाच्युतपदो जगन्नाथः स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे भुजे सव्ये वेणुं शिरसि शिखिपिच्छं कटितटे दुकूलं नेत्रान्ते सहचरकटाक्षं विदधते सदा श्रीमद्वृन्दावनरसति सदा श्रीमद्वृन्दावनवसति लीलापरिचयो जगन्नाथः स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे महाम्भोधेस्तीरे कनकरुचिरे नीलशिखरे वसन्प्रासादान्तः सहजबलभद्रेण बलिना सुभद्रा मध्यस्थः सकलसुरसेवावसरदो जगन्नाथः स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे कृपापारावारः सजलजलद श्रेणिरुचिरो रमावाणी रामः स्फुरदमलपङ्केरुहमुखः सुरेन्द्रैराराध्यः श्रुतिगणशिखगीतचरितो जगन्नाथः स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे रथारूढो गच्छन् पथिमिलितभूदेवपटलै स्तुतिप्रादुर्भावं प्रतिपदमुपाकर्ण्य सदयः दयासिन्धुर्बन्धुः सकलजगतां सिन्धुसुतया जगन्नाथः स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे परब्रह्मापीडः कुवलयदलोत्फुल्लनयनो निवासी नीलाद्रौ निहितचरणोऽनन्तशिरसि रसानन्दो राधा सरसवपुरालिङ्गनसुखो जगन्नाथः स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे न वै याचे राज्यं न च कनकमाणिक्यविभवं न याचे हं रम्यां सकलजनकाम्यां वरवधूं सदा काले काले प्रमथपतिना गीतचरितो जगन्नाथः स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे हर त्वं संसारं द्रुततरमसारं श्रुतपते हरत्वं पापानां विततिमपरां यादवपते अहो दीनेनाथे निहितचरणो निश्चितमिदं जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जगन्नाथाष्टकं पुण्यं यः पठेत् प्रयथा शुचि सर्वपापविशुद्धात्मा विष्णुलोकं स गच्छति श्री जगन्नाथाष्टकम की जय श्री आदि शंकराचार्य की जय anybody who could read the translations
I can read, Prabhuji.
yes Hare Krishna Meenu Mataji
Hare Krishna. Sometimes in great happiness, Lord Jagannath makes a loud concert with his flute in the groves on the banks of the Yamuna. He is like a bumblebee, tasting the beautiful lotus-like faces of the cowherd damsels of Vraja, and great personalities such as Lakshmi, Shiva, Brahma, Indra, and Ganesha worship his lotus feet. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. In his left hand, Lord Jagannath holds a flute. On his head, he wears peacock feathers, and on his hips, he wears fine yellow silken cloth. From the corners of his eyes, he bestows sidelong glances upon his loving devotees, and he always reveals himself through his pastimes in his divine abode of Vrindavan. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. On the shore of the great ocean, within a large palace atop the brilliant golden Nilachala hill, Lord Jagannath resides with his powerful brother Balabhadra and his sister Subhadra, who sits between them. May the Jagannath Swami, who bestows the opportunity for devotional service upon all godly souls, be the object of my vision. Lord Jagannath is an ocean of mercy and as beautiful as a row of blackish rain clouds. He is the storehouse of bliss for Lakshmi and Saraswati, and his face resembles a spotless, full blown lotus. The best of demigods and sages worship him, and the Upanishads sing his glories. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. When Lord Jagannath moves along the road of his Rath Yatra car, at every step, large assemblies of Brahmanas loudly chant prayers and sing songs for his pleasure. Hearing their hymns, Lord Jagannath becomes very favorably disposed towards them. He is the ocean of mercy and the true friend of all the worlds. May that Jagannath Swami, along with his consort Lakshmi, who was born from the ocean of nectar, be the object of my vision. Lord Jagannath, whose eyes resemble full-blown lotus petals, is the ornament on Lord Brahma's head. He resides on Nilachala hill with his lotus feet placed on the heads of Anantadeva. Overwhelmed by the mellows of love, his joyful embraces Srimati Radharani's body, which is like cool pond. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. I do not pray for a kingdom, nor do I pray for gold, rubies, or wealth. I do not ask for a beautiful wife as desired by all men. I simply pray that Jagannath Swami, whose glories Lord Shiva always sing, may be the constant object of my vision. O Lord of the demigods, please quickly remove this useless material existence I am undergoing. O Lord of the Yadus, please destroy this vast, shoreless ocean of sins. Alas, this is certain Lord Jagannath bestows his lotus feet upon those who feel themselves fallen and have no shelter in this world but him. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. The self restrained, virtuous soul who recites these 8 verses glorifying Lord Jagannath becomes cleansed of all sins and duly proceeds to Lord Vishnu's abode. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
thank you Meenu Mataji Hare Krishna yes that's wonderful prayer by Shri Adi Shankaracharya who's the Lord Shiva himself right the topmost Vaishnava glorifying what should be the mood of how a devotee always is praying to Lord Jagannath that may you always be the object of my vision. Right? And the same mood is what we were talking about yesterday in Srila Prabhupada Leelamrit, as Prabhupada got into deep state of samadhi and remembering his separation from Krishna, and he was describing the mood of all the gopis as the topmost in mood of separation from Krishna and the love that they have. And that love increases manifold, just like the spiritual ocean. The waves of spiritual ocean cannot be measured. It just keeps on increasing. Similarly, that is the mood of the gopis. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is demonstrating by his personal examples, by exhibiting that mood of Srimati Radharani, the mood of the gopis in separation. And the example that we saw yesterday that I was talking about, how that princess in Rajasthan, what her mood was, while the Brahmana who was serving Jagannath, he was greedy after material attachments, right? But the princess who was far away from Lord Jagannath, how much devoted she was, and what did she offer in her prayers or in her offering to the Lord? Because she said, what can I offer to the Lord? Even though she had all the wealth in the world, being a princess, daughter of a wealthy king. But she eventually thought about it for multiple days, and then eventually she just offered her mind as her offering to the Lord. And so that offering was so dear to Lord Jagannath that he said, I want to keep it close to my heart. And he asked that Brahmana to make it into a necklace and offer it to Jagannath. So sometimes we may be very close to the Lord physically, right? Just like the Brahmana, but we should not be greedy, but we should actually be mad after Krishna, mad in love, just like the love that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the gopis have for Krishna. So that is kind of the essence from yesterday's reading. So let's continue Srila Prabhupada Leelamrit. And also Prabhupada was in a transcendental mood, also joyful mood with his devotees as he went to the beach and they performed Kirtan all day in California, San Francisco, and where his disciples also read about the poem of Narada Muni, right, the eternal transcendental spaceman. And again, the whole theme yesterday was about glories of the holy name, how that Narada Muni bajai veena, Radhika Ramana Name. So every time Narada Muni is also just vibrating the holy names from his mouth. And actually yesterday evening also when we were reading the last chapter of Science of Self-Realization, Prabhupada's theme again was the perfection of human life. And the way he starts it again was with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction of cleansing our heart, Chetu Darpana Marjanam, Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam. Right? So he beautifully described that in this age of Kali, there is 3 times emphasis, right? Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva. So Prabhupada very nicely described, and that was the first time I read this, where he said, certainly not, right? Nasti, Eva certainly, Nasti is not. Certainly not. 3 times of emphasis by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Prabhupada explains that 3 times is that first certainly not is for Karma Yoga. Second certainly not is for Jnana Yoga. Third is for yogic processes, right? So neither by karma, neither by jnana, neither by yoga, we can achieve the Lord in this age in Kali, but can only achieve by Hare Nam, just by chanting the holy names. So that is the mood. And even in the drama yesterday that we read, Prabhupada is now explaining to Hayagriva how to perform the drama, and he's talking about Kali Yuga. And Kali Yuga is, with his wife, is sad that Harinam Sankirtan has started in this age. So how will they survive? So let's continue reading. So we are continuing from here. Hayagriva. So this is his determination to incarnate as Lord Chaitanya. Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya, yes, Hayagriva. In order to appreciate Krishna in the form of a gopi, just like I have got dealings with you. So you have got your individuality, and I have got my individuality. But if I want to study how you are so much obedient and loving to me, then I have to go to your position. It is very natural psychology. You have to paint in that way. Prabhupada described and explained one story after another, most of them new to Hayagriva. Hayagriva couldn't properly spell or even pronounce the names. He didn't know who Lord Chaitanya's mother was or whether Nityananda was a devotee. And when Prabhupada told the story of Kshirachur Gopinath, the deity who stole condensed milk for his devotee, Hayagriva got confused and thought Prabhupada had said that Lord Chaitanya had stolen the condensed milk. Prabhupada, no, oh, you did not hear? Chaitanya, after seeing the deity, he was sitting and seeing, and meantime Nityananda Prabhu narrated the story how the deity's name became Kshirachur Gopinath. You do not follow me? Hayagriva groped. Nityananda? Prabhupada. Nityananda was going with Lord Chaitanya. Hayagriva. Nityananda was narrating this to Lord Chaitanya? Prabhupada. Yes, the deity was known as Shirachur Gopinath. The story, Prabhupada repeated for the third time, was narrated that formerly he stole one pot of condensed milk for his devotee, Hayagriva. Now, what direct relationship does this have to Lord Chaitanya? Prabhupada. Lord Chaitanya visited this temple. Anyone in those days going to Jagannath Puri from Bengal had to pass that way. And on the way, the Kirchur Gopinath temple is there. So everyone used to visit. Formerly, Madhavendra Puri also visited. And for him, the deity stole the condensed milk. From that time, the deity is known as Kirchur Gopinath. That story was narrated to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, while sitting before the deity, the story was narrated, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu relished that God is so kind that sometimes he steals for his devotee. This is the significance. So, here the scene should be arranged that it is a very nice temple, the deity is within, and Lord Chaitanya has entered while chanting Hare Krishna. And then he saw the worship, Arati. These things are to be shown in this scene, and a little story about him, that's all. When Prabhupada told of Lord Chaitanya's visit to the Sakshi Gopal temple, Hayagriva again got lost. Do you follow? Prabhupada asked. No, Hayagriva chuckled. No. Eventually, Hayagriva stopped asking questions and interrupting. Although he had very little knowledge of the identity or meaning of the characters, as soon as he had heard a little about them, he had been trying to adjust and rearrange their activities from the dramatic point of view. Prabhupada had raised no objections to Hayagriva's inquiries. In fact, Prabhupada had invited them so that Hayagriva could understand how to present the play. Hayagriva, however, decided to first try to hear what Prabhupada was saying. By the end of the first hour of their talk, Prabhupada had narrated many scenes from the first half of Lord Chaitanya's life. His teasing the Brahmanas by the Ganges at age 5, his civil disobedience movement against the Mohammedan magistrate, his accepting the renounced order at age 24, his last meeting with his beloved mother, his traveling to Puri and touring South India, his meeting and instructing disciples like Sarvabhauma, Ramananda Rai, and Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. Finally, Prabhupada's morning schedule permitted him to go no further. It was time for him to bathe and take lunch. The next day, they would meet again. At the next session, Hayagriva listened more carefully, and the transcendental scenes came quickly, one after another, as Prabhupada described each scene, speaking the words and thoughts of Lord Chaitanya and his associates. Prabhupada seemed to be seeing the scenes enacted before him. He especially became moved when he spoke of Lord Chaitanya and Haridas Thakur. The life of Haridas Thakur, Prabhupada said, is that he was born in a Mohammedan family. Some way or other, he became a devotee, and he was chanting 300,000 times Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made him the Acharya, the authority of chanting. Therefore, we glorify him. Nam Acharya Haridas Thakur ki jai, because he was made the Acharya, the authority of chanting Hare Krishna. When Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, Haridas Thakur decided, my dear Lord, you are leaving Navadvip. Then what is the use of my life? Either you take me or let me die. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, why shall you die? You come with me. So he took him to Jagannath Puri. In Jagannath Puri, because he considered himself born of a Mohammedan family, Haridas did not enter the temple. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him a place at Kashinath Mishra's house. There he was chanting, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sending him prasadam. In that way he was passing his days, and Chaitanya used to come and see him daily. Srila Prabhupada wanted a scene for the passing away of Haridas Thakur. Hayagriva, is this the same Haridas the Mohammedans threw into the river? Yes, Prabhupada said. Then, very casually, Hayagriva mused aloud. So he finally met his end there in the fifth scene? Prabhupada hesitated. Here again, Hayagriva revealed his lack of transcendental knowledge, talking as though Haridas's passing away was the same as an ordinary man's meeting his end. All right, Hayagriva cued him. What is this particular incident? Prabhupada, the particular incident is significant. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a Brahmana and he was a sannyasi. According to social custom, he should not even touch a Mohammedan. But this Haridas Thakur was a Mohammedan, and yet at his death, he took the body himself and danced, and he put him in the graveyard and distributed prasadam. Because Haridas was a Mohammedan, he did not enter the temple of Jagannath Puri because the Hindus were very strict. Haridas was a devotee, but he thought, why should I create some row? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appreciated Haridas's humble behavior. Although he had become a devotee, he was not forcibly going to the temple. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself was daily coming and seeing him. While going to take bath in the sea, he will first of all see Haridas. Haridas, what are you doing? Haridas will offer his respect and he will sit and talk for some time. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will go and take his bath. In this way, one day when he came, he saw Haridas not feeling very well. Haridas, how is your health? Yes, sir, it is not very. After all, it is the body. Then, the third day, he saw that Haridas is going to leave his body today. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, Haridas, what do you desire? Both of them could understand. Haridas said that this is my last stage. If you kindly stand before me. Srila Prabhupada became caught in the intense spiritual emotions of the scene as if it were happening before him. He closed his eyes. He stopped talking. Then he began again slowly, haltingly. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stood before him and he left his body. Prabhupada sighed and became silent. Hayagriva sat staring at the floor. When he glanced up, he saw that Swamiji was crying. Prabhupada quickly summed up a few last scenes and ended his outline. Now you write, he told Hayagriva, and I shall make some addition or alteration. This is the synopsis and framework. Now you can proceed. Hayagriva left the room. The material was lengthy, and whether he would ever write the play was doubtful, but he was thankful to have received this special discourse. Sitting on a bridge table in the student lounge, chanting into a little microphone while his followers played their instruments, Prabhupada began the kirtan at Stanford University. At first, there were about 20 students, but gradually more entered the lounge and gathered around. Everyone was chanting. Then suddenly the lounge became transformed as more than 200 Stanford students, most of them completely new to the Hare Krishna mantra, danced and chanted with as much enthusiasm as the most uninhibited Haight Ashbury crowd. Prabhupada led the kirtan for more than an hour. In his talk afterwards, he explained what they had all just experienced. This Hare Krishna dance is the best process for getting out this illusion that I am this body. Our society is trying to distribute to the world the priceless gift of the Lord. You did not understand the words, but you still felt the ecstasy to dance. Prabhupada took questions from the audience. Everything proceeded in a standard fashion until someone asked whether college students should respond to the military draft. Prabhupada replied that since they had elected their own government, there was no use complaining if the government told them to go to war. But some of the students, the same students who had chanted and danced only minutes before, began to shout, No, no. Prabhupada tried explaining his point, but they raised their voices in anger until the hall became a bedlam of shouting. Finally, Srila Prabhupada picked up his kartals and began chanting again, and the dissenters left. The next day, the Palo Alto Times ran a front page story with headlines and a photo of the kirtan. Ancient trance dance features Swami's visit to Stanford. Hold on there a minute, all you with it people. There's a new dance about to sweep the country. It's called the Swami. It's going to replace the frog, Vatusi, swim, and even the good old barnstorm. Why? Because you can do any old step to it and at the same time find real happiness. You can rid yourself of the illusion that you and your body are inseparable. The chant started quietly but gained volume as more people joined in. After half an hour, a long haired youth with three strings of red beads around his neck stood up and began to dance to the music. He closed his eyes in ecstasy and held his hands palms up, shoulder high. Two girls soon followed him. One had a string of bells around her neck. A bearded fellow with a fluorescent pink skull cap joined in, still beating on his tambourine. Swami cut in a microphone in front of him, and the added volume provoked others to chant and stomp more loudly. A pretty girl in a sari danced as if in a hypnotic trance. A short, dark man, neatly dressed in suit and tie, threw off his shoes and joined in. A young math professor did likewise. A pretty blonde 3-year-old girl rocked and swayed in one corner. Suddenly, most of the audience was dancing and chanting. The pace grew faster and faster. Faces streamed with sweat. The temperature soared. Then it all stopped. Srila Prabhupada was pleased with the article and asked for some photocopies of it. What are they calling the dance? He laughed. The Swami? Across the top of the Kirtan photo, he typed. Everyone joins in complete ecstasy when Swami Bhaktivedanta chants his hypnotic Hare Krishna. The devotees got Prabhupada an engagement at a YMCA, where the audience consisted almost entirely of children. The devotees had decorated the hall with posters of Krishna and had hung a big sign with Maha Mantra on it. The children chanted along with Prabhupada during Kirtan. Just before the lecture, Guru Das reminded him, maybe the talk should be simple since they are all between 9 and 14 years old. Prabhupada nodded silently. Is there a student here who is intelligent? Prabhupada began. No one responded. After a moment, a 12-year-old boy, urged by his teachers and fellow students, raised his hand. Prabhupada motioned for him to come forward. The boy wore thick glasses, short pants, and a blazer, and his hair was combed back very neatly. Pointing to the boy's head, Prabhupada asked, What is that? The boy almost scoffed at the simpleness of the question. My head. Prabhupada then pointed to the boy's arm and said quietly, What is that? My arm, the boy said. Prabhupada then pointed to the boy's foot. What is that? My foot, the boy answered, still looking incredulous. Yes, Srila Prabhupada said. You say, this is my head, my arm, my foot, my body. But where are you? The boy stood perplexed, unable to answer Prabhupada's simple question. We say my hand, Srila Prabhupada continued. But who is the owner of my hand? We say my hand. So that means someone owns my hand. But where does that owner live? I do not say I hand, I say my hand. So my hand and I are different. I am within my body and you are within your body. But I am not my body and you are not your body. We are different from the body. Real intelligence means to know who I am. Okay, we'll pause here for today. Hare Krishna. Yes, anybody would like to share anything? Any thoughts, comments from today's reading? Father, so, like I was saying yesterday, in the evening reading of the Prabhupada is so simple. He gets down to our level to speak, right? And yeah, as he was explaining that play to Hayagriva Prabhu, he was fully, completely absorbed in there. But at the same time, he knew that Hayagriva Prabhu was not. Of course, he was hearing all these names for the first time, so he got down to his level and with patience, with humility, he was explaining and re-explaining everything, the questions that he had. And now similarly, this talk at YMCA for small kids, 9 to 14 years old, he's getting down to their level. So again, all that intelligence comes by the purity of bhakti. Krishna gives the Dami Buddhi Yogam Tam Ena Mamapi Antite. So everything becomes Spurit, as they say in Sanskrit. The Lord from within the heart manifests the knowledge, manifests the art of speaking, what to say and how to say, just as per the scriptures, following the instructions of Sadhu Guru Shastra. But yeah, Lord gives that intelligence to his pure devotees that they can make their words relatable to all kinds of audiences. Yeah, but again, yeah, when Prabhupada is narrating everything, he's narrating from the deepest cores of his heart. Yeah, it requires attentive ears, and when we hear repeatedly, like sometimes we are caught up so much in memorizing or using our own intelligence to think that we can learn this or we can improvise this better. But actually what is required is just a simple heart, just simple ears. If you think of how the older generations, previous yugas, they learned all this knowledge, it was just through Shravanam. That is why Shravanam is the very, very first thing in the process of bhakti. Just by attentive hearing, that is all we need. Just by association, like we say in today's days, we say association with pure devotees, association with their pure instructions. Just association is important. We don't have to worry about anything else. Just attentive hearing, attentive listening, and association. Everything else will naturally follow. So that is what I agree with Prabhu was trying to do. He tried to ask questions, he tried to clarify everything, but eventually he learned that it is just hear him, just associate with Srila Prabhupada, everything else will follow. And that is what has happened. We see after 5 decades of Srila Prabhupada's passing, what his disciples have done, have gone on to do, just by the mercy of their spiritual master, just because they had two attentive ears to listen to Srila Prabhupada and follow the instructions. And again, something we were discussing last night was we read so much, we hear so much, right? But how much do we actually follow? How much do we actually apply in our lives? Just that one thing will make the difference. If we actually follow even one thing, just one thing. And again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made it so simple in this age. Like we said, it's just Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam. Just chant, like the disciples yesterday, they were saying, Prabhupada was saying, right? Just chant, and then you'll be happy. And that is the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's the instruction of all our Gaudiya Parampara, all our Acharyas. And Prabhupada, in one simple way, is teaching us the whole philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu across these 2 days of reading. Yeah. Okay, anybody else would like to share anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Anandri Mataji. Yeah.
Dandavat Pranam. I really liked your reflections today, and that will be my take home is just simple process of just attentive hearing and association, and everything else will follow. I also really liked how Stanford University or Hatebury Ashbury Street. So same process, just Prabhupada did his melodious kirtan and the transcendental kirtan made the intellectuals dance, made the hippies dance, made a little 3-year-old dance and an older gentleman dance. So it transcends, the mind, age, intelligence, economy, everything. So just, this is a living proof that we don't have to concoct new methods of attracting college students or anything. Same process works everywhere. So if we, like you said, just purity of heart and intent, and then we go out there and we get the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we get the mercy of Guru Parampara to help preach their mission. I really like that. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you for sharing that. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I like the thing that when Prabhupada was narrating the story of Haridas Thakur, and all the scenes were just coming in. I mean, as if he's seeing all those scenes and narrating the story to Hayagriva and how he was really there and started crying when Haridas Thakur left his body. So that was touching for me, that how immersed was Prabhupada when he was just narrating and telling these stories to the people, those who absolutely don't know who was Haridas Thakur, who was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and how they have to follow the instructions of the Prabhupada. And it was really, I liked that thing, Prabhuji. It was so nice. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, he could paint the picture, right? Just by his words. Like we said again, just the words are so potent that coming out of your devotee's mouth, that they could paint the picture for anybody who was attentively listening, right? And yeah, and like we see always Prabhupada when he closes his eyes, we have that wonderful picture drawn by again some of Prabhupada's disciples, where Prabhupada when he closes his eyes and everything else is around him, right? A picture of Radha Krishna and Vrindavan, and all the pastimes of the Lord are actually like when the pure devotees close their eyes, it is like the 70 screen, right? Like we used to go to theater and we see everything on the big screen, but yeah, just behind the eyelids when they close, they are like the giant screen, and everything is eternally playing there, the pastimes of the Lord. So yeah, when a pure devotee speaks, he is able to actually, through his words, bring to life that whole pastime in front of the audience just by his words. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Shamakarna Mataji, Anandini Mataji. All right. Okay, I think we'll pause here for today then. Thank you so much for your association and wonderful reflections. And with Vaishnava prayers, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha, Anantakoti Vaishnavindi ki jai, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada Leelamrit ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandvat pranams. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.